Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị sị na ya dịrị ndị Igbo na mma. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Igbo Media ka anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ana Igbo and Igbo community and ihe debe na Nigeria. Ya bụ ife ka anyị na-ewetara unu na Igbo Media. Dịka isi wee na-esole anyị, ọ bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị ị na-abịa n'ilu akwụkwọ na Igbo Media, kabaru ka subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ miss any of our update dịka anyị na-etikwu ya n'ilu akwụkwọ kwa mgbe. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ya wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si ada and gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si akpọtụ n'ala Igbo. Biko mma achọ ka ige ya bụ ife. Ihe a bụ Biafran Prime Minister Maazị Simon Ekpa. O nwere ife okwu n'ilu akwụkwọ mma achọ ka unu ga-esi ya bụ ife ọ na-adọrọpụrụ anyị ifu nche n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile okwu. Alright, over to you, sir.
With us in the 90s. Then someone of his own stature cannot be lectured about democracy or human rights, because we are all in the trenches fighting. So my expectation is that the problem cannot be solved by keeping the leader of the struggle perpetually in prison. You don't solve the problem. You can only solve the problem if you discuss the problem.
I put the question to the governor during our media chat. I said, can you say with finality that the sit-at-home syndrome has been defeated? The governor initially didn't answer the question, and I put it back to him. I said, I asked you a definitive question, sir. Can you say with finality that the sit-at-home syndrome has been defeated, especially in the hinterland? Again, he tried to show me that, yes, progress has been made. Didn't you see people moving around? So I was worried because the Biafra Day celebration is a day like no other. But where a group that has been proscribed is telling people to go on holiday, the question you ask is, where did it derive that legitimacy from? Yeah. To tell people, no, today don't go out. We are celebrating, we are remembering our fallen heroes and all that. To make matters worse in this matter, Simon Ekpa, on his part, said the sit-at-home is not going to be for one day, that it will be from the 29th to the 31st of May. Now you can imagine keeping people in their homes, telling people not to go out for all those days. How would people feed? How would they survive? Staying indoors for a people who are very enterprising, who are no
security post in Aba, killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
I think it was one of the most cowardly acts that has been carried out recently. It's quite sad because it's like 1 year down the line, we still have the security challenges. But what bothers me here is that they came in 3 tinted SUVs, Prado. Everybody knows how much a Prado cost. That should tell you how much these people are, how they're being funded. While the 3 XUVs we are approaching, they also had ground support. So there was failure of intelligence, because that would be a Kaba's junction, Bingwa local government area where this attack took place. I heard the junction is a wide junction that they could have been able to tell. And when you see 3 SUVs coming at the time when you have talked about sit at home, I thought there should have been more of intelligence. As sad as it is, but it was a surprise attack. And at this point in time, the National Intelligence Agency have to sit up, because Simon Ekpa is becoming more of a clog in the wheel of progress for the 5 southeastern states. Some of us have said that holding down Nnamdi Kanu has been negative because it has given cause to raise a Simon Ekpa who is not preaching the same sermon as Nnamdi Kanu was preaching, who is preaching violence. He's in Finland. I wonder what the Nigerian embassy in Finland is doing and the Nigerian foreign minister is doing at this material point in time. He goes on Twitter, he calls out those violent acts, he goes on propaganda, he says he's carrying out referendum and they have been 30 million votes. Apparently, this attack was not done by IPOB. This was done by Simon Ekpa's boys, and he probably posted it on Twitter. If you notice, he has been number one on the tweet on trends for some time now on Twitter, and he's enjoying all the media attention, and you know that gathers him more support, gathers him more finances, and these are the finances that he's using. You know, he actually does empowerment programs. Simon Ekpa, he sends funds to these people who actually also see him in the quest of being a benefactor. So the government has to do something about it. Yes, if not, the Southeast is going to continue to be a war theater. And one thing I must also point out
briefly,
the military says they're going to go after them, but this is a guerrilla warfare. It's quite difficult to get people in a guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, that's why we're warning that it has to be done within the ambit of the law. But I mean, you make some very good points there, and of course the Nigerian government can't go to Finland and sort of try and extract Simon Ekpa from there. But all they can do is try and get the cooperation of the Finnish government, and the Finns have said that they've tried at one point to pick him up. They said that there just didn't seem to be any evidence directly linking him to what was going on here. Well, let me come to you, Abba Kaka, and I apologize, I was calling you Abba Kaba, but somebody had written your name that way and forwarded it to me, so I do apologize. But I mean, Kenny Okolobo was talking about this and the linkage to Nnamdi Kanu. Does all this make it less likely, because the name IPOB is associated with this, that Nnamdi Kanu will be released anytime soon? Or does it strengthen the argument which he himself makes, that in his absence, the group is running amok, but if he was freed, the reason for their violent protest?
Because we need to look at the causes of the problem in the Southeast. We need to look at what actually caused these very problems. And I could see that when the people of indigenous people of Biafra started, it was a very peaceful movement. In all Nnamdi Kanu has done in the process of sensitizing people for secession, he never used any gun. He never used any form of weapon. But unfortunately, this process has been hijacked. Because people have hijacked it, and especially miscreants, even when the young man had said openly, publicly, and even in writing, that look, I am not in support of anybody maiming and killing anybody in the Southeast. But the likes of Simon Ekpa could not see any reason with that.
Okay. So now that you mentioned Simon Ekpa, he's somewhere in Europe living his life and dishing out orders from that part of the world to people that live in the Southeast. And mostly he's being obeyed, or he has people that carry out his orders. Why do you think the Southeast governors have not done something about Simon Ekpa specifically? Obviously, the man is powerful and people are listening to him on the ground.
Well, the Southeast governors could appeal to the Attorney General or the President, because the law is very clear. What the federal government ought to do is to seek a way to extract the Southeast.
All right, a political solution you say, but it's not only Nnamdi Kanu that in time past has fanned the flames of IPOB, but you and I know that Simon Ekpa, all right, regardless of Nnamdi Kanu trying to bring a little bit of sense into all that has been happening, we've had Simon Ekpa actually fanning the embers and actually probably stoking people to go out there and continue what they've been doing?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think Samuel Ekpa is even working with the IPOB. If he's serious, he should come back to Nigeria and begin to ask his people to lead. You cannot, stay outside Nigeria and directing misguided people to be committing heinous crime. I also
Mr.
believe
Jeffrey,
that government should enter.
Permit me to come in here. Yes, a lot of people have said that.
Yes.
We know he's still in Finland, but it doesn't change the fact that he's a voice that several people, especially those in the southeast, listen to. So saying that he should come, that probably he should come back.
Well,
that's probably not a very, very realistic move, but he's still a voice that people listen to, especially those in the southeast.
Yeah, it's a voice. It's a voice. If you remember what I said, it's a voice to misguided elements. It's not a voice to reasonable people. But I can be listening to him. Most people cannot be listening. But some of these people who have been brainwashed will be listening to him. But he's there enjoying himself. I also believe that this time government should enter into negotiations with the country where he's operating from and see whether he can be repatriated and to enable him face trial. Because what he's doing is worse than what Nnamdi Kanu was doing. So he should be brought back for trial.
So what is the way forward? How do we prevent this from happening again, whereby we have non-state actors attacking our military personnel? How do we stop it, not just in the southeast, but in all parts of the country?
You see, in all parts of the country, for instance, if I talk of the southeast, that people should come out to volunteer information, the people are scared. They are afraid. They cannot give out information because these people are living within the same people. So our security agencies should intensify efforts to flush out these elements from their hideouts. And once that is done, because I was watching a video on Arise this morning, they were parading themselves.
In DSS, called a meeting of all the leaders of the Southeast and said, this is what Nnamdi Kanu said, that he is not part of this. Yet, every Monday, what happens is this. A few miscreants, and I use the word advisedly, come out, shoot and kill one or two people, and run away, and video it and send across the whole of the Southeast, and everybody is now scared. The governors we met, all of us in the National Assembly we have met, everybody has condemned it. I need the Senate to know that there is no one in the Southeast except the criminals who support this sit-at-home. Their modus operandi is simple. It's just terror. I have called the market leaders in Abia, and I said, you can't continue to stay away. And they told me that the people have threatened to burn their markets at night if they don't stay away. So this is beyond the citizenry coming out to just say, we don't accept it. Because what they have done is to use terror tactics to intimidate a whole region. And we have had meetings with the DSS, and all that the DSS has told us is, listen, these are just a few people. They will come out in one road, they will find somebody just driving along on his way to doing anything, shoot him, and then they will say it is because of sit at home. Take his car away, go and keep it in their den, and later go and sell it. So these are nothing but criminals. So I support this motion, and especially the matter concerning someone who is a dual citizen of Nigeria and Finland, staying in Finland, giving orders, and in fact, giving, I will say, orders that you don't understand why people should accept it here. But then, criminals will always find a reason to do what they want to do. I have also had interactions with the Finnish embassy, and in fact, the United Nations head in Nigeria, who is from Finland. And what she told me was, it is a government-to-government interaction that will lead to a resolution of this, because as a citizen of Finland, that he has a right to express his opinion. But I can tell you, my dear colleagues, each and every one of us has suffered greatly from what is happening in the Southeast. They attacked Senator Kalu when he was doing campaigns. They attacked me. There's nobody they have not tried to intimidate. But we cannot be intimidated because we are in a country that has rule of law. And so I support this motion in its entirety. And when the time comes for the prayers, if there's anything I will add, we will. But we want to urge our colleagues and the rest of Nigeria to see this matter not just as a Southeast matter, but
ndị be anyị daalụ nne nnukwu unu si wee na-esore na Igbo Media dịka unu si na-esore anyị si na Chukwu oke abịa mapụrụ mmiri na ya gosi niile n'ofu n'ofu otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị ise 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 kapakwa alụ ka itinye alụ nke gị na ihe niile na gbasara maka ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ ana ndị ọzọ dị iche iche kabarụ ka itinye alụ nke gị ife icherụ n'ụdị nke gị gbasara maka ya bụ ife dịka anyị nọkwa na-echekwa olileanya na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya pụta oge na-adịghị anya na n'ụlọ mkpọrọ, anyị sị na Chukwu oke abịa maka inye ya ike nọnyere ya chekwaba ya mana anyị kwuru otu aka ọ ya dịrịrị ise ise ise. Thank you, and also stay tuned at Eastern News 24. Ka emesịa nụ ndị be anyị.